What's up, you guys? So this is a reading for October 2025 concerning your finances. So we're going to be looking at your coin, okay? The finance aspect of your life falls underneath the economic pillar. And when we're looking at our economic pillar, we're looking at the things that keep us stable and structured. And given that we need money to do that, we do the money reading separate from your career and business reading, 22 on the clock. If you're new here, when I call out a number, that number correlates to something that was happening in your environment, something you were thinking, doing, or saying, or something that I was saying at the time. And I want you to look that number up on a website called Joanne's Sacred Scribes. I am not affiliated with Joanne, but her website is extremely accurate. All right, now what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying, but what I'm saying now is we're looking at the energy for October. That's what I was saying in regards to your finances falling underneath your economic pillar. There's another reading for your career and your business. And so if you're looking for information on how to navigate best in your career or your business throughout the October 2024 span of time, then go read or listen to that reading. This reading here deals with your actual money, your home life, those types of things that you're mainly spending your money on, right? Bills, where money can come from, whether that's actual work done, gifts, blessings, inheritances, winnings, whatever that affects your money. Sometimes we're getting things in terms of resources that we're not actually paying for, right? We could be doing deals and negotiations with people. And so take the reading how it applies. I don't really know what's going to come up in the reading. I have the cards here, but I haven't really looked at them. What I do know is that it's not a lot of money cards. Actually, no money cards came up in the main segment of this reading. When we're talking about money cards, we're talking about pentacles. And unfortunately for you guys, there is no pentacles right on the forefront. However, fortunately for you guys, 2s and 1s on the clock, whatever the shift and change is, it's a steady one that you've hoped for. And so 222 on the clock, it could be that maybe you don't necessarily win the lottery. You feel what I'm saying? Like you might not hit the whatever, the big whatever is. It's not really my thing, 2s and 3s on the clock, but you might indeed get a greater position that pays you more and gives you more freedom. So now you have a lot more free time, you're making a lot more money, and then you have the ability to use your spare time to create and do other things. And so whatever's coming in for you in terms of money is something that, number one, you wished and hoped to have, something, number two, that you've definitely earned, and number 3 is something that you sacrifice for. And so for everybody that's going to be different. You guys know what this is, but it's coming in quick, and it's coming in quick based off of quick action that you're being guided to take. So let's hop into the reading and take it segment by segment, because while there are no money cards on the forefront, there are a couple of them in the background of each of these segments of cards. So we're going to deal with them one at a time. Now, when we're looking at how the messages come out, these could be messages that have already started before the month of October kicked in, or things that will begin to start as we go through the month of October. Some of this stuff you could be experiencing like as we speak, all right? Somewhere in the background, there are people in other people's business. If you're the person in somebody else's business, it's time for you to mind your own, because you got a lot of other things to do. If it's somebody that is in your business, then they could be watching you for reasons that aren't necessarily bad. But you still need to keep some of your business to yourself. Like maybe you have, you apply for a new position and you have an employer watching you, right? It's not bad that you're hanging out, but maybe in this video of you hanging out where you kind of like look a little tipsy, you just don't want to post that right now. Now, I'm not encouraging people to edit them lives for corporate America. You know, I'm a person who advocates for people getting into positions that give them the most freedom, whether that is a position they create for themselves, 4s and 3s on the clock, or a position that somebody else gives them. However, whatever position it is that you're in, you have to be mindful that there are eyes on you. Like, it's a lot of shit that I'm going to do when I'm having fun in my house that I'm not necessarily going to post online. Like, you're not going to see me, you know what I'm saying, dancing the way that I would dance in my house on the freaking internet, and that's just a standard of how I'm operating. So what standards are you guys operating with? Those things are important, because as you move forward, you have to remember that you've put in a lot of effort and work to be here, and you need to protect all the things that actually matter. And so take that message however you'd like. Just know that if people are paying attention to you, they're getting to see, like, number one, whatever they were looking for, they're not finding. So just, again, be mindful of what you're sharing. 5s and 2s on the clock. Another example of that would be, like, I'm very mindful of my backgrounds, because I don't need people trying to Google and figure out what sign was behind. Like, people do shit like that. 5s and 3s on the clock. So just be mindful, you know. But the second part of that is, people are watching, and what they're finding is you actually are the shit. Like, surprise, surprise. So whatever's going on with your money and your finances is going to improve and bring you some stability, because people around who are interested in helping you, because they're seeing how you're handling or navigating whatever you have going on. And this is something, again, that you've actually already been working towards. 6:06 on the clock. So I believe the 6s and the 0s have to do with money and not focusing solely on the money. And that would make sense, because here, again, it's not a lot of money cards in the forefront, but we are looking at your actual money. 6 and 2s on the clock. What you do have showing up in this segment in terms of money is the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, which is a sign that the consistent work that you've done, 6 and 3s on the clock up until this point, is about to pay off for you in a way that's going to bring you long-term stability. But you got to keep going. Right. And then you need to take action on whatever the opportunities that are here for you. I think that came up in the business reading in terms of opportunities. The choices that you make now are important. So where 731 on the clock, where you put your focus and your energy is important at this time. What you're taking in terms of information, whether that is stuff that you're watching on television, things that you're reading, conversations that you're having, things that you're scrolling and seeing. 707 on the clock. It's important that you're choosing wisely with your time, your energy, and being intentional with the way that you're showing up right now, with the aspects that have to do with your home life. 717 on the clock, and your money. Those things are important. And so, yeah, moving through the reading, your wishes are coming true. The main wish is for financial stability and security. You are going to have that, but there is, again, other people in your energy. This deals with people, 737 on the clock, closer to your circle. So while the first segment of this really pointed to people just in general, this part of the reading is pointing to people closer to your circle who have an eye on you. This is the type of person who's already been very critical of you for whatever reason. They could be kind of rude with you also. 757 on the clock. That person is trying to figure out what you got going on. And so, again, keep your business to yourself. This is you holding on to the things that you have. It looks like you're going to achieve a lot, but if you don't be wise with how you're using and spending and investing in what you're sharing, then you could be back in the old loop. So it's important, 818 on the clock, that you keep your resources to yourself. You keep this wish fulfillment to yourself when it does come in. It's going to take you out of some sort of conflict and confusion and like toxic cycle that you might have been stuck in when it comes to your finances. This is the very divine blessing that's coming in for you. That's also going to bring you the 10 of Cups. So when we talk about our finances and having the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, this means 844 on the clock, that you've done all the work necessary to secure some sort of stability and comfort for your family that gives you mental and emotional stability. 8s and 5s on the clock. And so I don't know if y'all can hear the background, but it's kids in the background, it's liveliness in the background, they're hanging out and talking and chit-chatting, you feel what I'm saying? And that's kind of the vibe of what I'm looking at on this card. It is 2 people sitting on a rainbow with 10 cups and 2 children running around, playing around outside. And this card signifies a wish fulfilled when it comes to long-term happiness and fulfillment with your personal wishes and personal goals. 929 on the clock. And whatever this is tied to the faith and commitment that you've put into whatever it is that you've been working on all this time when it comes to your finances. If you had some kind of legal battle or something like that in regards to something related to any type of economic stability, you are going to be victorious in that. You're going to be able to come come out of your head, come out of confusion, and it might come as a shock to you to how that happens. So just be open to solutions coming in ways that you weren't necessarily expecting, but vet those opportunities and just trust that everything is going to pan out for you perfectly in divine order as you journey through the month of October. 10:10 on the clock. Peace.